Hello, and welcome to 5 Minute Math. Today, for our number talk, we are dividing fractions. So, what happens when we divide a whole number, 3, by a fraction 1/3? Well, let's draw a picture to visualize this. We'll talk about how we can do this in our head. So, 3, that is going to be our dividend here. Our divisor is 1/3. So, I'm just going to draw 3 wholes, right? Because really, if we wanted to reimagine it, it's 1/3 divided into 3, which looks a little bit strange, right? So we're going to take our whole, right? This is our dividend, 3, and we want to divide it into how many pieces? Well, what I have here is 1/3. So how many 1/3 can I get out of that? Well, let's cut this into thirds. And then we're going to cut this into thirds. We're going to cut this into thirds. Right? So our divisor is 1/3. So how many 1/3 pieces do we have? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3 on this one, 4, 5, 6, if you count the next one, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 1/3 pieces. So 3 divided by 1/3 is 9, and that's a little bit strange because when you divide numbers, typically your quotient, right, your answer, is smaller than your dividend. But in this case, we're dividing a whole number by a fraction, a proper fraction, and it's going to end up being a little bit bigger. So it's because we're dividing it into pieces smaller than 1, so we're going to get more than 1 piece out of this. Now, another way to think about this is the relationship between multiplication and division. So when I divide by 1/3, we need to realize that that's the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. So dividing by 1/3 is the same as multiplying by 3. Now, how does that work? Well, a reciprocal is any number you multiply to another number, typically a fraction, to get it back to 1. So if I've got 1/3 and I'm thinking, well, what's the reciprocal of 1/3? Well, what do I have to multiply 1/3 by to get it back to 1? Well, you flip the fraction upside down and you get 3 over 1. Then you multiply straight across and look what you get, 3 over 3, which makes 1. So if you invert the operation, so you go from division to multiplication, it does the same thing if you want to go from multiplication to division, and then you flip the fraction to its reciprocal, you end up getting the same thing. So 3 divided by 1/3 is the same as 3 times its reciprocal, 3. Okay, that's pretty easy. Either way, our answer here is 9.